I'm gonna make bourbon and honey glazed bacon to go along with our pancakes. I actually like to cook bacon in the oven as opposed to in a pan. It is much messier when you're cooking bacon on top of the stove because the fat, it splatters all over the place. That's number one. Number two, when you cook the bacon in the oven on a sheet pan, it cooks incredibly evenly. And also, you can have your stove clear so you can do other things. That's basically the idea. And so we're gonna just take some thick cut bacon and put it in the oven about 400 degrees. And also, I like to put some parchment paper down on the sheet pan because it just makes it a lot easier to clean. We're gonna let it cook about halfway, let some of the fat render, and then we're gonna start to glaze it with our bourbon and honey glaze. I'm a huge bourbon drinker. I love bourbon. I love the flavors of bourbon. I love what bourbon stands for. It's such a great American spirit. So a couple of ounces of bourbon, and then some honey. And bourbon already has sort of a honey, caramel-like flavor, you know, undertones to it, of course. A lot of times I put honey in dishes, not so that you actually taste the honey or make it sweet, but kind of counterbalance all the ingredients in there. Now, I spent a lot of time in Kentucky, so I go to a lot of bourbon distilleries. They have something called the Bourbon Trail near Lexington, Kentucky, near the horse country. You know, you can just kind of visit all kinds of different distilleries and taste lots of bourbon. I would say get a driver that day, for sure. We're gonna let it reduce down. It's gonna get a little bit thick. The alcohol from the bourbon will cook off, but you'll still have that wonderful flavor from the bourbon itself. My bourbon honey glaze looks great. And then I'm just gonna take a brush, and I just want some of the fat to render because sometimes I'm concerned if I put too much liquid on top of the bacon, it will never get crisp. But now that some of the fat has begun to render, I'm gonna put this bourbon, it smells so good. The bourbon and honey glaze is gonna start to caramelize the bacon and give it a really beautiful glaze on the outside. Putting glazes on bacon have become very popular. Now, bacon has always been popular, but I feel like in the last 10 years, I mean, they're putting bacon on ice cream. You name it, bacon is paired with it. But I love the idea of making glazes for bacon. And you need some kind of sugar, like a brown sugar glaze, or honey, or maple, or molasses, something along those lines. But it's still bacon, and that smokiness rings through. So the bacon is gonna take 10 minutes or so. I actually do like a spicy mango glaze on bacon at Bar American. And you know, people can't get enough of it. So we're gonna let the bacon cool because you know the honey is incredibly hot. And as it cools, we'll actually harden a little bit. We'll make the bacon crispier. Let's put some black pepper on there too. It's smoky, it's spicy, it's sweet, and it's bourbon.
The thing about lemon ricotta pancakes with figs is instead of putting all the flavor on the top, like with fruit and chocolate and whipped cream, all the flavors of these pancakes are in the pancakes. So I'm starting with 1 cup of ricotta, whole milk ricotta. Next is a cup of buttermilk. You always want to be sure to shake the buttermilk because it settles, but it's got a richness about it that's different from regular milk and a tangy flavor. So far it sounds pretty good, right? Not like ordinary pancakes. Okay, 3 extra large eggs. I'm just gonna whisk these together. One of the nice things about pancake batter is you can make it the night before and just scoop it out and make pancakes in the morning. Okay, next, 1/4 cup of sugar. I want them to be a little sweet. 1½ tablespoons of grated lemon zest. These are really lemony pancakes. 1½, that's perfect. And 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, pure vanilla extract, as opposed to the imitation stuff. Just whisk this together. Okay, that's the wet ingredients. Next, the dry. So I need 1¼ cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, which is gonna make them really tender, tablespoon of baking powder, make them light, 1½ teaspoons of salt, just makes them taste good. So that's the dry ingredients. The thing about this base that's so nice is lemon and ricotta. It's just a great pancake. And I have figs in season, which are great with it, but you can make it with blueberries, you can make it with chocolate chips. So be creative. Okay, that's the dry ingredients. Now I'm gonna put them in the wet ingredients. Just mix this in. You don't wanna over-mix it because you'll end up with tough pancakes. We want really tender pancakes. Fold it in just enough so that the flour is just mixed in. I'm just gonna let it sit for 5 minutes, and that allows the gluten in the flour to relax. Makes a really tender pancake. Okay, that's the batter. I'm gonna let it sit, and I'm gonna prep the figs. So this is what I have. I have fresh figs. They're so delicious. I'm gonna cut this in 1/2-inch dice. Try and get ripe figs if you can, but if they're a little underripe, don't worry, because when you cook them, they kind of sweeten and caramelize. I'm gonna make the pancakes, put the figs on, turn them over. Figs will cook. Maple syrup, butter on top. How bad could that be? Of course, these are great for breakfast or like Sunday brunch. But I have to say, I served breakfast for dinner one time for a dinner party. People went berserk. It was like they just couldn't eat enough pancakes. It was really sweet. Okay, that's 8 figs, 1/2-inch diced. Let's make some pancakes. So I'm starting with clarified butter, and this is what it is. I took some butter, I put it in a pitcher, I put it in the microwave for 30 seconds to melt it. And the milk solids go to the bottom, and that's what burns. The clear liquid on top has a higher burning temperature, and since I don't want burnt pancakes, I'm just gonna use the clear liquid. 2 tablespoons of clarified butter for each batch. And here's my pro tip. I use an ice cream scoop. That way all the pancakes are exactly the same size. I'm only making 3 pancakes, but this batter will make 14. Just like that. Look how nice and thick they are. Another reason to let it sit is the batter gets really thick. And one more. And then I'm gonna put the figs right on top. Just place a couple of figs on each pancake. Just make sure every bite has fig in it. If you wanna make a few of these ahead, what you can do is make them and keep them warm in a 250 or 300 degree oven. They'll stay nice and warm and still really moist. Okay. And you don't wanna touch them until they're nice and browned on the bottom. They're so much easier to flip if the bottom is very firm. So it's about 3 minutes on one side. You're just waiting for bubbles to appear on the top. Don't walk away from it. It happens really fast. Unless, of course, you're staring at it, and then it doesn't happen at all. Okay, time to flip the pancakes. Wish me luck. Perfect. Oops. And this is great when you flip it over. The other side cooks, but the figs really cook too. Okay, big plate. Let's see how these guys are doing. The other side cooks pretty quickly. So you want to press them, and when it springs back, kind of like a cake, they're done. So these guys are done. Okay. Do we think 3 pancakes is too much? There's no such thing as too many pancakes, right? 2, 3. Butter. This is totally decadent. A little maple syrup, because I love maple syrup. Right there. A little dusting of fresh lemon zest on the top, because that's the first thing you'll taste. And I would say I need a fork, because these are pancakes that are definitely best in class. Wow. Hot pancakes, my favorite. And you can really see the figs inside. Look how fabulous. Don't mind if I do. The figs are so flavorful. And the ricotta and the buttermilk and the lemon, those are definitely my favorite pancakes. Wow, look how fabulous.
The world's greatest French toast with praline bacon. We are chopping up pecans because we are going to make pecan praline. So pecans in the bowl. Toss these with a little bit of brown sugar, about 1/3 cup. All right, so we have our praline mixed. Let's move on to our toast of Frenchness. We are going to cut this in pretty thick slices on an angle. You want to use day-old bread, so it's a little bit stale, so then it really absorbs your custardy mixture, and that's what gives you that really almost creme brulee type center. So I had 3 eggs in here and a yolk. I'm going to give that a little whisk. To that, I'm going to add some sugar, about 1/3 cup, just depending on how sweet you want things. Little splash of vanilla, a pinch of salt, and then we're going to do both milk and half and half. And then add our milk and our half and half. I'm going to put a splash of bourbon in here. Bourbon has that kind of earthy, deep, caramely type of flavor. You could put some maybe smoked maple syrup or maple syrup in here. Would add a little bit more sweetness than the bourbon, but. So now we pour this mixture over our bread. And if I was gonna do this overnight, I would let it soak for a little bit, then I'd flip it, let it soak for a little bit more. And it's gonna pretty much absorb almost all this liquid as it sits. So I'm just gonna put this in my fridge And every hour or so, we'll just give it a little flip and let it continue to absorb. Our bacon should be just about done. Oh, and it is. And now I'm just gonna take my pecan praline and sprinkle it right over top of this. And then in 3 to 5 minutes, this mixture is gonna, like, brown sugar's gonna melt. It's gonna start getting very crispy. Some of it'll melt in with that fat, and we are just gonna chop up this whole mess of goodness. So back on our grill or in our oven, about 400 degrees. I am going to close the lid. It's gonna take about 3 to 5 minutes. Keep an eye on it. It's 400 degrees. Look at it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, so I'm gonna take those nuts and pour them right on top. We'll let some of that fat drain off. And now we're gonna start working on our French toast. So I have a cast iron pan here. So butter goes in the pan. I'm gonna put the pan directly over the coals. The coals here, about a medium-high heat. Let's grab our custardy goodness. So I'm gonna go about 2-3 minutes on each side, then I will drop the lid, let it kind of cook through for a little bit longer, and then you're good to go. And as that's happening, I'm gonna start chopping up my super crunchy, happy bacon situation. And now we just mix this up, the bacon, the nuts, that caramelized brown sugar. Oh God, look at this. That is perfection. That nice golden exterior, it's getting soft in the center. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna move it to the offside of the grill, which is gonna maintain its heat. I'm gonna close this lid up. These are gonna continue to brown and just warm all the way through. So all that eggy mixture kind of just heats through with it to create the custard. This is done. Check it out. Perfection of French toast right there.
That does look amazing.
I'm going to go maple syrup. We're gonna grab this salty, crunchy bacon pecan praline, put it right on top. And fresh fruit would be great with this, kind of whatever you're in the mood for. I am going to pick up my French toast.
Ooh, it looks so juicy.
It's really good.
I love the little bit of texture and the crunch that the praline bacon adds.
And this is the custardy of custardiest French. It's the world's greatest French toast.
My childhood best friend is in town, Kamiko. Before she heads back to New York, I'm making her meat lover's quiche because we both love meat, we both love eggs, and we both love cheese. So I have one store-bought pie crust. I'm just gonna mold my crust down into the pan. I have some pie weights here and parchment paper. I like to par bake my crust first because if I was just to put the eggs and the meat in there right now, that crust wouldn't bake. So I have to bake it first in the oven. The pie weights help the crust stay nice and intact inside the dish. Otherwise, it'll just puff up when you put it in the oven. And I have my oven preheated to 375. My pie crust is gonna be in there for about 10 minutes. So while that goes, I'm gonna get started on my meat. I have 4 slices of bacon here. I'm gonna render it on down. I'm flipping my bacon. While that side cooks, let me take my pie crust out of the oven and take those weights off. I'm gonna pop this back in the oven and let it cook and brown for about 5 more minutes. I think my bacon should be done. I'm not gonna empty this pan. I'm gonna add my country sausage right to the rendered fat from the bacon. Before I take this off the heat, let me grab my pie crust. That's done. All right, okay. Now I'm gonna build this quiche. I'm gonna cut up some green onions. I have 6 eggs here. I'm gonna add a half a cup of half and half. If you don't have half and half, you can use whole milk. That half and half is gonna get it really nice and fluffy. I'm gonna do a heavy pinch of my house seasoning. Got sweet paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. I'm gonna add my green onion as well. Give it a whisk. Now I'm gonna grate 4 ounces of white cheddar. And I love using cheddar cheese because it goes really well with the saltiness of all my breakfast sausages. I'm gonna put it right into my egg and green onion mixture. I'm gonna give it another whisk. All right, let's build. I'm gonna put my country ham down, which is basically just smoked ham. Got my strips of bacon here I'm gonna crumble up. Last but not least, my country breakfast sausage. It smells really good. My stomach is growling. Now, just pour the egg and cheese mixture right on top. And this is gonna be incredible. Smooth it out. All right, I'm gonna pop this in there and let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the eggs are set. I think my meat lover's quiche is ready to come out of the oven. I can tell it's gonna be nice and cheesy, and look at the brown on the crust. That's my favorite part of the quiche, the cheese and the crust.
I love a good eggs Benedict, okay?
Oh, Benny.
Yes, and I also love something that we fight about a lot, Jeff.
Oh, boy.
What's
Pizza.
that?
Pizza.
Oh, no.
I love pizza. All right, so I'm combining them to make my easy pizza eggs Benedict.
What?
Whoa.
Yes, and it is
Whoa.
easy. There are a lot of little moving parts, but it's super simple with a trick from GZ that's on the way as well, all right? So the first thing I wanna do is start with all of the flavor bases. So we've got some tomato. Katie, you've got some pepperoni over there. Just throw them on the sheet
Can we
for
put 'em
me.
right on
Yeah,
here?
you know, 20,
Do they need to
25,
be like
30.
a single layer?
Single layer, just give them a little bit of space so they can breathe and the fat can marinate and hang out. Yeah, we're gonna crisp them up. This recipe originates from me going to a hotel, and I had the breakfast there, and they had a pizza eggs Benedict, and it was delicious, but it was hard to eat. So I wanna make it easier to eat. You know, it was beautiful, but it wasn't practical. Okay, big old beef steak tomatoes.
Beautiful.
You're gonna hit them with a little bit of olive oil spray,
Beautiful.
okay? You can drizzle some olive oil as well. You see I've got it right here, but I'm just gonna do it exactly what I did at home. Some Italian seasoning.
I'm gonna have pepperoni fingers after this.
Just lick them, girl.
I
Just
love
lick them.
pepperoni fingers.
Some salt and some pepper. I've got the oven set at 375 degrees. This is just gonna kind of soften them up and intensify the flavors.
Am I bringing mine over to you?
Yeah, actually, if you could bring your pepperoni over here,
Oh boy.
put them in and bring out the pepperoni. I'm gonna
Oh my gosh,
little bit
the
of
traffic
dance.
jam.
What a
coordination.
dance.
Traffic jam.
Wow.
All right.
Ooh, it smells good over here.
So they're gonna come out looking like this. You know, they're not gonna be completely roasted down, but look at how tender that is.
Oh, they're going right in.
They're going
there.
right in. This is the fastest kind of quick marinara.
Oh,
Okay?
I like this. So
Yeah,
it's
is it good? Is it okay?
fundamentally sound, right? You're
Yeah.
just
What can I do for you with these eggs?
Oh, okay. So the eggs for our eggs Benedict, GZ,
Yes.
you have lightened up my world.
What did I do
Because as
now?
I tell you, the eggs Benedict are my favorite breakfast. They really, truly are. But I would always get them out because, man, I'm not making that hollandaise and I'm not, you know, poaching the egg. I mean, I would, but not all the time.
I know where you're going with this.
Now that you have shown me how to do your GZ method, Mauro, you've got a method.
Yeah,
GZ
yeah.
also has a method of poaching my eggs in the microwave. I can't Benedict enough. You don't remember that,
Egg in
Jeff?
the mug.
yeah, I remember.
So Katie's just cracking an egg into our mug, about a ½ inch of water to cover. You're gonna pop it in the microwave for a minute each. Your microwave might not be like our microwave. Wattages change, even the temperature of the water, the temperature of the eggs. So you're just gonna have to kind of find your sweet spot. Every once in a while, go a little bit over, and I'm okay with that. All right, let me blitz this up.
We haven't talked about eggs Benedict, I don't think, ever on this show, have we?
I mean, I'm sure we've made some.
We're done.
Oh,
Wow,
look
that
at
was
that.
quick.
I love this version so far, but does anybody know where the first actual version of Eggs Benedict came from? And the year.
I don't think I do.
I'm gonna say it was probably like at a hotel and there was a mistake and somebody decided that they needed something fast.
In 1860
Ooh.
at Delmonico's right down the street in New York City.
Oh. Really?
Yes.
The first restaurant in New York City
Yes,
was
and Ron
Delmonico's.
Hoffer, the chef in 1894, wrote the recipe.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
But it's very, I thought it was French, you know,
Yeah,
it
right.
sounded French, you know.
Pepperoni
Hollandaise.
came out of the oven.
Okay,
Okay, see the you.
let me see those.
Yeah, let
No,
me
you
see
want
those.
one. Just
Jeff,
one,
just
Jeff.
One each.
Just one.
What are they called?
Okay?
These have a name.
These are pepperoni cups.
Yeah.
They're cup and
Yes.
jars.
Yeah, they're not super
Oh.
puppy, but they're really yummy.
Oh my God.
Same thing, about 375 in the oven until you see them crisp up, about 15
I'm
minutes.
giving these 15 seconds longer.
Perfect. All right, so let's make this sauce that's not hollandaise, but we're making eggs Benedict pizza style. So what's gonna go on top is a nice cheese sauce.
I'm so happy.
I love
Okay?
that.
Heavy cream, whipped cream cheese, a little stabilizer.
What?
You need a stabilizer, just
Whipped
like the
cream
hollandaise.
cheese.
Whipped. Just really because I'm too impatient to wait for it to get room temp. Whipped cream cheese comes out and it's
okay.
ready to spread, right?
This is okay.
So then when it comes out, you can just pull them out with a spoon. Sometimes I'll just be over a sink with a slotted spoon and I'll pour the mug right over the slotted spoon and I'm ready to go.
That's smart too.
Yeah.
That's probably more gentle.
So I whisk in that cream cheese.
Oh, look at that. Perfect. You did that. That was RTC right there. in
Yeah,
that micro.
real-time cooking. Turn up the heat a little bit. Now I've got just the 4-cheese Italian blend that's shredded in your
Wow.
deli department.
It's got to be thick though. You can't
Oh,
have
yeah.
like can't have a runny
Sauce
like
of any
saucy
kind.
like thing.
You
It's
don't
gotta have
want it
dense-
runny.
that'd be
That's why I have a
dense.
little bit of
Yeah.
heavy cream right here, just in case I need to add a touch.
What are some other egg dishes that you would enjoy for breakfast or dinner?
I would love a frittata, and I
Yeah.
think we've got one on the way.
How about like fried rice, like a ton of like
Yeah.
You know, it's like the
Yes.
scrambled
Oh.
potato, even it's like an over easy egg on top.
All right, you guys ready for this to come together?
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
I can't wait. We sit there for like 30 minutes.
Buying time for me. All right, we've got our English muffin, right?
Ah.
Toast it. You know what to do. It's toasted. We've got a little bit of our roasted tomato that we just blitzed, just a little bit of
You mean
Italian
marinara?
seasoning.
I love that. Look at that.
Look
Does
at
not
this.
look like it came out of a can. You know that came off the vine from the back.
You know, gonna come in with a little pepperoni disc love,
Yes.
right?
Dude.
Yeah, put it around
This
the edge.
also reminds me of being a kid and my mom making English muffin pizzas.
Under the broiler.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes,
Same thing.
very much.
Uh-huh.
Yes, very much.
Talk about a
And
cheap,
then
cheap
let me
and
get a
delicious
spoon.
snack.
Get one of these babies off. Beautifully microwave poached eggs. The
Such a
Jeezy
good
method.
hack.
I mean,
Oh,
come on,
Look at that.
Jeezy.
I mean,
They look better than a regular poached egg.
they really are.
They look like when your kid has all the play food.
Yes.
Oh, get crazy.
Oh, my.
What in the
cray cray.
world?
That's nuts, bro.
This is not right.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, that
Oh.
was just like.
What?
Oh, it was that's a dance move right there.
What's that? It's called the stracciatelle.
You like that? All right,
Do the
just like a
stracciatelle.
pizza over the top.
Oh, Jeff.
Red chili
Mauro.
Oh, yeah, you gave me some
Whoa.
sweetness on there?
Oh, honey,
Gotta
it's
hook
coming.
up some
One of the
basil.
things we
just
really
like
love
a
those
good
trends of honey.
pizza.
Dude, they got to zoom in on that lanch going on. Look at that
What's
lanch.
happening? Don't mess up the ranch.
Wow. This
Avalanche
is
dog.
definitely dinner because if you had this for
mean-
breakfast, you would not move the rest of the day.
A little spicy honey.
Well,
Sometimes we say hot and people wonder if I'm saying temperature. No, no, no.
No,
I'm
people.
saying spicy honey.
Oh, man.
Wowzers.
There you have it. It's my
Wowzers.
very easy pizza eggs Benedict.
beautiful.
It's
Sonny.
in my tummy.
Pookie's looking fire.
Let me know what you think.
That's $28 right there.
Yeah, you think I could put that on
I'm
the
gonna do
menu?
a little,
Come on.
just a little bit. Oh, that beautiful yolk. Look at that.
Look at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just so unique.
Uh-oh, is that good or bad, Jeff? Look at this cheese pull.
That is crazy, and that was just in my mouth, now in my belly. But I love that cheese sauce because it replicates the stringiness
Yeah.
of a good cheese pull from a hot pizza.
you want this one?
Charred pepperoni, one of my favorite flavors on the planet. Definitely my favorite smell. And the runny yolk mingles with it all, almost give it this other, another layer of luxuriousness.
what you need.
Nice, well-toasted English muffin, a little fresh basil, a little sweetness from the honey. I mean, this is it.
Chicken and waffles is a Southern staple. I've seen it on restaurant menus, and I've always thought it sounded so good, and finally, I have a chance to make it. Now, I'm starting with the chicken. I'm making the coating that's going on the outside, and I'm just mixing up a little milk and buttermilk. That'll come into play here in just a second, but first, I'm gonna mix up the dry ingredients. So it's 1 1/4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of seasoned salt, the same amount of paprika, freshly ground pepper, ground dried thyme, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'll just stir them all together, then slowly drizzle in the milk and buttermilk while I mix it with a fork. This will leave little lumps that are gonna stick to the chicken and make it nice and crispy. I've got 4 chicken thighs that I've been soaking in buttermilk overnight. My mom always soaked her fried chicken the night before she fried it, and it always turned out so delicious. Now I'll just put it in the breading, and I'll sprinkle it over and just press it. I want that breading to really stick to the surface of the chicken. So these are gonna go skin side down right into the pan. Oh, and the oil is just right when it sizzles like that. Now I'll get the second 2 coated, Whenever I fry chicken, I always love to do thighs. It's my favorite cut of chicken. I'm a dark meat girl. For the first stage of cooking, I'm gonna put the lid on the pan and let them go for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna give the chicken a turn. It sure smells good so far. Really light golden brown. The lid helps it not to get too brown too fast. I'll carefully turn them over so that coating doesn't fall off. Oh, it looks so crispy and beautiful. I'll just get the lid back on, and I'm gonna let it cook for another 3 minutes or so. I'm just gonna take it out with a spatula, let the excess drip off. At this stage, it's not quite finished browning, and it's not quite finished cooking in the middle. I'm gonna put the pan into a 350-degree oven. It's just gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes to finish them off. I'm gonna whip up the dry ingredients. That starts with a cup of flour. This is just my basic go-to waffle recipe. They always turn out right. This is one thing I never want to experiment with. I'll also add a teaspoon and a half of baking powder and 2 big tablespoons of sugar. Whenever I make pancakes or waffles, I always add sugar. I like for it to have a little bit of sweetness. And then just a pinch of salt, and I'll sift these together. I've got an egg cracked in the pitcher, and I'll add about 3/4 of a cup of whole milk and a nice splash of vanilla. All the good things of life. And then this just needs to get whisked together. I don't want to overmix this batter. I just be really gentle. Okay, now that's about halfway mixed together. So I'll pour in the melted butter. Melted butter in pancake or waffle batter always adds extra flavor, a little extra golden color, and definitely extra deliciousness. I'll add some beaten egg whites. This is something I love to add to my waffle batter. It gives the waffles such an amazing texture. This is just 2 egg whites that I beat until they were stiff. Whenever you add egg whites to anything, you definitely need to treat it with tender, loving care. The great thing about waffles is they don't have to be sweet. You can make savory waffles and put cheese in them. I'll do those another day. Okay, now I'll just close the waffle maker. The waffles are just gonna take about 4 to 5 minutes to cook. Chicken and waffles has to have some kind of syrup. That's what makes it so delicious. So it's pancake syrup with a little bourbon, and they get brought to a boil, then simmered until they're nice and warm. Then with the heat off, I whisked in 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 at a time, and some cayenne pepper. Now I'm gonna throw all of this together. Piece of chicken. This looks like a good one. I'll grab this beautiful syrup. Oh my gosh, syrup on fried chicken? I have one thing to say to that. Yes. Oh, I smell that bourbon too.
It's a challah. It's an egg bread that's been braided. It's sort of a traditional Jewish bread, but you can use any kind of egg bread or brioche bread that comes in a loaf. I'm just gonna leave this to dry out a little bit, so when I mix it with a custard, it'll just absorb all that flavor. So the custard, 6 eggs, and I always try and crack the eggs on the board rather than on the side of the dish, so you don't get shells in them. I like to use extra large eggs, but you can really use large eggs, anything that you have around. Extra large eggs, I find, are better value. There's more egg per dollar. How's that for an esoteric fact? Okay, and the next thing is milk, or half and half if you really want to be over the top. It's a cup and a half of whole milk, or half and half. I want to keep my husband around for a long time, so I'll use milk. I'm just going to whisk it in. When I was thinking about this recipe, I wanted to make traditional French toast, but I really wanted to pump up the flavor. So challah does that, which is great, but also I wanted the custard to have more flavor. So what I'm going to do is, I'll show you, I'm going to add orange, which is a really traditional breakfast kind of thing, my handy-dandy microplane, which I love. So I'm going to add a little bit of orange, maybe about a teaspoon. But really make this to your own taste. If you like more orange or less orange, play with it until you get it exactly right. And the next thing's vanilla. So about half a teaspoon of vanilla and honey. Honey will sweeten it, but I think it sweetens it with more flavor than sugar. This white sugar really doesn't do anything for me. And doesn't that look good? And the last thing is a pinch of salt. It's amazing how much salt makes a difference in a recipe like this. So now the custard has lots of flavor. When I'm going to soak the bread, it'll just absorb all that good flavor. I'm going to soak the challah in the custard just a couple of minutes on both sides. Just sort of hold it down so it gets nicely soaked. If you can soak it for 5 minutes, it's great. If you don't have the time and you're too hungry, it's okay. But the longer you soak it, and actually the drier the bread is, the better. I actually saw one recipe where you had to let it sit for half an hour. Now, just imagine that everybody's sitting waiting for breakfast, and you have to stand there for half an hour and let it soak. Forget it. So while that's soaking, I'm going to get the butter. So I'm going to have about a tablespoon of butter. When I'm sautéing things, I want to mix butter and oil because I'll get the flavor of the butter with the high burning temperature of the oil. So about a tablespoon of oil should do it. That's perfect. Get it nice and hot, sizzly. So it's good and hot, but not burning. All right, in they go. I'm going to cook these for about 3 minutes on each side until they're nice and browned. And while that's happening, I'm going to soak the next slices of bread, which is about the same amount of time, 3 minutes. It works out perfectly. Just like that. This is going to be so good with hash browns, turkey sausage, and then a treat for dessert. I think my husband's going to be thrilled. So I'm going to serve the French toast with a drizzle of really good maple syrup, and maybe a dusting of confectioner sugar would be good. So these look like they're perfectly done. I'm going to put them on a sheet pan, put them in the oven.
I'm gonna make a classic corned beef hash, and I'm gonna start by roasting the russet and sweet potatoes. I peeled them and diced them pretty small. I'm getting them onto a sheet pan and just drizzling with olive oil, really simple, and plenty of salt and pepper. So I'm just gonna toss it with the bench scraper, and then let's get the potatoes into the oven. Alex, ready? Boy, we're walking to the oven a lot. 425 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes until the taters are nice and roasted. Okay, the potatoes are almost done, so I'm gonna move forward with the skillet situation. I've got some chopped onion and some minced garlic, and I've just got a little bit of olive oil in the pan. So I'm gonna stir and start the cooking process for this. And while that starts to cook, I'm gonna get the eggs going. So I'm gonna make sunny side up eggs. And I always wanna have plenty of time to get the eggs cooked since they're not gonna be flipped. It takes a little extra time. So I've got some olive oil in a little skillet, and I already cracked the eggs. And I just poured them right in, and I'll sprinkle on some salt and pepper. There is nothing like a sunny side up egg. So I've got this on low, and I'm just gonna let these eggs sit and slowly cook. All right, so the onions and the garlic are cooking. So I'm just gonna keep stirring these around for about 3 minutes until they start to soften. All right, the onions are starting to soften. So I'm gonna add the corned beef since this is a corned beef hash. So to this, I'm gonna add some grill seasoning. Just any old grill seasoning is fine. And then a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Oh yeah, and look at these eggs so far. Wow. Oh, there's, wow, thanks for the, finally, for an enthusiastic reaction today. All righty, So I'm gonna let this start to cook. And let's go to the oven and get the potatoes, Alex, okay?
To the oven again. My legs are getting tired. Wow.
Roasty potatoes. All right, and then I'm gonna scrape the potatoes right into the skillet. There we go. Woo! I love hash for breakfast. It's frugal, it's delicious. Okay, look at this, Alex.
Wow.
How's it look?
It's looking and smelling amazing.
It is, so I'm just gonna let it cook for a good couple of minutes in this hot pan to get the edges kind of brown, and then we'll serve it up. Okay, Alex, get in here and look at this. Look, this is what you call corned beef hash. Nothing fancy, just celebrating all of the ingredients for what they are. And the mix of sweet potatoes and russet potatoes are kind of a nice little interest. Okay. I'm leaving that towel there because I'm gonna put this hot pan right here so we can see it. So I kind of polled the kids and I was asking if I should break up the eggs before I add them to the top of the corned beef, or if I should just slide them on in, and they chose the slide option. So let me move some of the corned beef to the edge because we don't want to lose the beauty. Ready? Oh my gosh, please. Thank you.
Oh.
Look at that, you guys. That was a great suggestion.
Oh my God.
And then grab some parsley. But isn't this pretty? And what I love about it is that you can just serve it to your kids, or you can serve it to like holiday company. Okay, and then a little bit of parsley elevates it a little bit. Look at this.
Oh my goodness.
Corned beef hash.
I'm making my egg sandwich with tomato jam, truffle cheese, and sausage.
Wow.
Okay, is there bacon in there?
Sausage!
Oh, okay, I'll take it. It's a bacon, sausage, and cheese sandwich.
Okay,
yes.
first, could you please fry up some pork sausage patties, which is best.
The best for a breakfast.
Season the heck out of them. We're gonna make a spicy tomato jam.
You're making it? A bespoke jam?
Tomatoes, look at
Para
that. Just
mí?
like on an Instagram feed, right? Go in, like that.
Wow, I know, right? Just
It's
dump. Or when they just throw things in the pie, it drives
doesn't
me
make any
absolutely
sense.
insane.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
like, bam. I'm like,
Sugar,
it's like undoing years of what
vinegar.
we've done.
Okay, is that red wine vinegar?
Yes, salt,
Okay, all things I have.
Pepperoncinis.
Yep.
Crushed
I
red
create
pepper.
those from
crushed
my
red
garden.
pepper. Stop, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair that you just make fun of me all the time.
It is
We're
fair,
gonna
'cause you do the
stir,
same to me.
stir. This is the easiest thing. You're gonna do this, I swear to God.
I am gonna do this. I even have the same size Dutch oven.
In the oven, like at 375 degrees.
In the oven?
45 minutes, and you're gonna start to stir it every 15 minutes until it gets jammy-whammy.
Okay, I like
And
that.
then take it out and let it cool.
All right, I'm
Okay?
in.
All right.
Even better, I don't have to stir or anything.
Just set it, 45 minutes, okay. This looks fantastic. Next, I know you like eggs, but I
do.
also know she doesn't like eggs cooked in the pan with other eggs.
Yeah, they can't touch.
So I'm making 3 for you guys and 1 for you in one little pan,
Oh,
okay?
he gonna make me cry, y'all.
Oh, no, here we go.
Somebody, where's the
Get the
tissues?
tissues.
Oh, my gosh. I'm gonna get ready for the
Oh,
tears.
Get ready for the tears, okay?
Early to cry.
Okay, so
We had 2 courses until you start crying.
Okay, all
okay,
right.
so I like to cook my eggs low and slow with butter.
Okay, yep.
Smell the butter in the pan
non-stick
already.
pan. We're gonna put salt in the pan.
Yes,
There it is.
Always.
Cheesy.
Cheesy salt in the pan.
It's gonna
Pepper in
make
the
me
pan.
change the way I do eggs now.
Pepper in the pan,
Yeah.
too.
How did GZ know I don't like my eggs to touch? I said that before.
I did some extensive research.
Okay.
You hired a PI.
Here's you, like that's sunny. There's a little S in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in here. Keep it really low.
What kind of
Cover
eggs
it.
are you? Are we doing over easy, sunny side up?
Sunny side up.
Up.
You know the song?
Yeah.
Sunny side up.
I don't know the song.
Oh, I'm gonna
That's a-
send you
that's
that.
a
I
GZ
sent it to
original.
you. You know that
Songs.
song.
It's by
Watch
Jeezy
this.
and the Boys, I believe. Sunny side up.
So low and slow. I know there's a lot of controversy about this.
No, I have a 20-minute sunny side up egg.
If you go to Spain, they cook them, fry them in olive oil like they murder them and they curl up like this, and that's fine. There's a different technique. I like it like this for this particular dish. Okay, let's get the sausage on the griddle. It's like a smash sausage.
Like a smash burger.
Because what's going to happen is the ratio, the rache is really important.
Bigger than the bun, so
Bigger
then when
than the
it
bun,
cooks,
because it's gonna shrink by exactly a half inch, which is about 12–15%, and that'll be perfect. I hate when the ratio is wrong. It upsets me.
Yeah.
We buttered these, and you see that golden color? That's gonna make the difference between a really delicious sandwich.
So important.
It's so important, and no one does it. Very few people do it.
Buttering and griddling buns and bread and all that. Like, nothing does a disservice to bread more than, like, dry toasting it.
Or when you overcook it and then you've got a dry bun for your burger.
It's just shards of
So take a look at this.
everywhere.
This is very low.
Smell like breakfast in here, I'm telling you that much, man. No joke.
Look at expert searing. Look at that, expert searing by
Gotta get
the
the
one and only ICAG. We have a gorgeous salad that Alex is just gonna toss. A little frisee.
I'll take it. I
vinegar.
like frisee.
Just gotta have that in the morning.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
crunch.
beautiful truffle to cheese here.
Ooh, putting on the ribs.
Look at these pork sausage burgers.
Yes.
Fantastic. And now, you ready?
Oh, look at that.
Look at it.
That's gorgeous.
Is that magic?
What about my egg? What about my egg?
Pep. A lot of pep.
I do like pepper.
A lot of pep.
Yeah.
Love pepper.
Look at the smell.
It's crazy. Putting your-
Alex is
putting your
going
wrist
ham on
into
this,
that.
on the frisee
Okay.
with scissors.
Yeah.
Now we're just gonna put it together.
She
So
loves
I'm
me.
saying that we should put this on the bottom. What do you think? The jam on the
I
bottom?
think that's
Yeah.
nice, yeah. I would
Do
do
it.
that.
Don't skimp on this. This is really a great.
Rich.
And you don't
A
want
lot
to
of
weigh down.
flavor in there.
You don't want to weigh down the yolk too much either.
Scalpel.
Yeah. Exactly. Only the bun on top of,
Yeah.
of a yolk like that.
I don't
Jeff,
think
you
the
tell
frisee's
me.
going on, is
want me
it?
to
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
gonna be on the
Want
side.
the patty on the here?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I think I would put the lettuce on top of the burger and then let the egg go on top of it.
Yeah, that could work.
Jeffrey, where
Okay.
would you like your lettuce?
Will you put these here for me?
On the top of the tomato jam ones?
No.
Or the plain ones?
This is very...
Lettuce next.
I feel like...
Lettuce
Because
next.
then it's kind of like a
Yes.
country salad when the
Exactamente.
like
Because this has
the
to
yolk
ooze.
frisee.
The
Cascading
breakage is
down.
important. We're breaking bread here, literally.
Yeah. We're breaking
breaking
bread.
yolk.
And yolks.
Yolk.
I do say the L.
No, you do.
That's another thing, yolk.
You think
yeah.
I don't notice after 9
Yeah.
years? Look at this egg.
Perfection.
That's right, Jeezy. Give
ahead,
it to me,
Jeezy.
baby.
Let me get in your way, love.
I can't wait to hear
Oh.
another verse of Sunny Side Up by Jeezy and the Boys later.
Please no.
Wow.
Don't smush it.
Come on, Jeezy. Come on, baby.
Dude.
Oh, my.
This is for my queen, my little queen of the morning.
I got,
Just
you
call me
got
a
Bon
queen.
appetit.
Yes, Jeezy.
love it.
Yeah, here you go.
This is good. Yeah, you might need a... Yeah,
Wow.
You
good
close.
choice in
That
color
looks-
of
that
napkin,
looks
too. For your...
amazing.
Matches and everything. Yeah. Need it over me.
Well, no, it's going to... You're not going to be able to see the yolk drip.
First, Jeezy, thank you so much.
Welcome.
I don't know how you got the short straw in this chef swap.
No, I didn't. I got the
Shorts.
That's the bite right there with the yolk.
Oh, there it goes. And drippage. No, containment. She got the whole yolk in the mouth. I think.
I went right to it. Uh-huh.
Went right to it. Oh, my Jesus.
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh, I smell that.
That
truffle.
tomato jam is something else, Jeezy. I'm
that the
definitely
jam?
making that. It is the jam. The
jam.
sausage. I love when you properly griddle sausage like Alex did. You get that seared crunch on the outside. Perfectly cooked egg.
A shortcut puff pastry quiche. So I'm making the egg mixture, which is a great way to start any quiche recipe. I beat some eggs and I'm adding some salt and pepper and then a good amount of half and half and then sour cream. Nice pile of sour cream. And then I just need to whisk this mixture until it is completely combined. I think the magical thing about quiche is that you can serve it absolutely any time of day. I really love this puff pastry version because all you have to do is thaw the puff pastry. You don't have to make the pastry yourself. That is the egg mixture. So speaking of puff pastry, I have 2 sheets. And again, this is frozen puff pastry. And I'm just gonna lay it right into half of this baking dish. I'm gonna overlap 2 sheets. All right, I think that looks good. Just kind of bring whatever's hanging over the sides down so that it's right around the top rim of the pan. All right, so the pastry is ready. Now I'm gonna lay on a bed of cheese. This is grated pepper jack cheese. It adds just a tiny bit of spice, and it's really, really creamy. I sauteed some leaves of Swiss chard. I just took them off the stems and sauteed them in a little butter, salted them, peppered them, but you can do kale, you can do spinach, any kind of dark leafy green is perfect for this. So now this egg mixture gets poured all over the top. Emphasis on over the top. Oh gosh, I love quiche. All right, so for color and flavor, I'm gonna add some little grape tomatoes. They're cut in half. I'm gonna arrange them cut side up. I'm sorry, but tricolor cherry tomatoes just make everything look prettier. So I have this beautiful fresh dill, which is a great herb for eggy breakfast dishes. And I'm just doing a little sprinkle. You can put as little or as much as you like. So for baking, there are actually two stages. I'm gonna lightly cover the pan for the first stage, and it's gonna cook at 375 degrees for 20 minutes. Then I'll take the foil off and let it bake for another 20 minutes. See what this looks like in here. It sure does smell good. Oh, gosh, it's so beautiful. Taking the time to arrange those tomatoes so that the cut side is up is really worth it. Now, unfortunately, it's always best to let quiche sit for 10 or 15 minutes before you slice it. So I'm gonna sit here and stare at its beauty and try to be patient.
3 different versions of an avocado toast. I'm gonna start by making the avocado base, just a few ingredients, some avocados, some scallions, lime juice, cilantro, and then we can pump up the flavor and the creativity with lots of different combinations of ingredients. First of all, let's make the avocado base. A little squeeze of lime. So I'm gonna add some green onions to this. I love the flavor of green onions. I love the pungency of it all. I want those bold flavors. Cilantro, salt and pepper. If you notice, I'm just going to kind of mix it once or crush it one time because we want that nice chunky texture. That's just my preference. I was the kid that when you were picking the peanut butter, I was always crunchy, always. So that's good. Let's make some toast. All right, we're gonna start making our egg salad for our first avocado toast. I have some hard-boiled eggs here. I'm gonna grate the eggs. You can actually chop them if you want, but if you just use the cheese grater, it goes really quickly, and I actually like the texture of it that way. We're gonna add some Dijon mustard and some creme fraiche and some shallots. So Dijon is a little spicy, the creme fraiche is nice and creamy, a little bit tart, and the shallot's gonna give it a little bit of crunch. A little salt and pepper. A little bit of fresh dill. It's got such great flavor. It's one of the things I like about like Eastern European food and Greek food. Just gonna mix this up. I'm gonna use the pumpernickel for this, which has a little molasses in there. Just lightly brush the olive oil on top. I'm gonna broil our pumpernickel. Now you can toast your bread in lots of different ways. I'm actually using my broiler. You can grill your bread outside on a grill or in a grill pan, or you can actually just put it in a toaster. Okay. I'm gonna put the rest of the toast in the broiler as we make our first avocado toast. Okay, we can start the avocado toast parade. And what I like to do is just put a very thin layer of avocado. Think of it almost like butter. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of radicchio. You'll see it in lots of Italian and Mediterranean cuisine. This is gonna give it a little bit of that peppery flavor. Then we take some of our egg salad. So pretty. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of dill right on top of the egg salad. And it really looks beautiful on the pumpernickel bread, too. So this is gonna be smoked salmon, a little bit of dill with the avocado. So again, very thin layer of the avocado, and then a little bit of smoked salmon. So you have like thin slices of smoked salmon, and you just kind of let it drop into the avocado. Don't push it down. Paper thin slices. I'm gonna add a little bit of creme fraiche right on top of this as well. Avocado, smoked salmon, and dill. And we have one more to do. Who knew avocado toast could be so much fun, right? We're just gonna take some Fresno chili, looks like a red jalapeno. Just drop some chilies right on top. A little bit of lime zest. And then a little bit of extra cilantro. That's what you wanna hear. You wanna hear that crunch. There it is, the parade of avocado toast.
Waffle taco with spicy sausage and hot honey. We got some eggs. I got some good spicy breakfast sausage going here. The stuff from the log. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of cutting it into medallions, if you will, we left it crumbly. You want it fairly fine, so break it up a lot. As it goes, we keep the heat on high. But that's looking good. Just cook it right through. Here I got some beautiful scrambled eggs going. As you can see, right, we're developing, I put a little bit of butter, about a tablespoon in there. And I'm gonna make these cheesy eggs. And this is like my favorite egg and cheese combination. Don't hate on me, Geoffrey. Not Gruyere, not Roquefort, all right?
That's
American.
Roquefort.
Yeah, whatever,
Talking to
exactly.
Geoffrey.
I'm using American.
Yes!
I love American cheese.
Bring it.
In eggs, especially right at this moment when this eggs are about 78% set up. And then they just get gooey in there and you leave them in little tiers like that. And there's just these pockets of creamy, gooey American cheese. Now, we're gonna use the waffle as a tortilla.
No.
Okay? So we got a box mix going here. Just always keeping an eye on my eggs. Almost done. That'll finish in there. We're gonna add 2 cups of water per the mix's instruction. Just do whatever they say, but I like to bump it up a little bit with some vanilla bean paste in there.
Baby.
Vance, you know, this is you. This is you making him do this.
He's rubbing off on me.
Next year, you're gonna fold in fresh Turkish figs and who knows what else.
Exactly, medjool dates, right? We're just gonna kind of lightly mix this, let it chill out in the fridge for 10 minutes or whatever, out, let it rest. We don't have that time, right? Because Geoffrey's hungry and he cannot wait to taste this. So you smell the vanilla instantly. It's such a great floral, beautiful note that gives it that kind of homemade element to a box mix. So I do this with my pancakes, do it with anything. These eggs are perfect, do not overcook them, let all that residual heat finish them, and melt that cheese. Sausage is ready, we'll shut that off. Now, about 2 tablespoons. Now, if you don't have the world's tiniest waffle maker at home, like I do, just use your round shape one, just thin it out a little bit more, and that's what we did. We made the batter a little thinner, so it's a little more pliable.
Oh.
And this is going straight in there, 2 tablespoons, maybe 3.
It's like a Belgian waffle.
About 2.5 to 3.
It's true.
It's gonna close, right? You're gonna bake till it's like slightly yellow, right? You're not looking for golden, you're looking for yellow. Let me get all my stuff here.
Your accoutrements?
My accoutrement, and let's start building. Luckily for you guys, I have some ready to go here in my tortilla warmer.
Oh,
Hey,
that's so
how much fun is that?
What a head
And
fake.
you can see when these are done, right? They're not your like crispy, but they're still all the flavor, all the textures inside, but of course, our first layer. All right, so we got the crispy breakfast sausage. Now, I love a good, double-decker style taco where you get the crispness from the tortilla chips with the softness from the tortilla, so we're doing that.
Yeah,
and then those cheesy scrambled eggs.
Oi.
That's really fun.
And then that's just like the base, right? And then you could get your pickled peppers, whatever, but I'm adding just a little sweetness to remind me of the maple you usually get. And that's a little bit of that hot honey the kids love.
I love this hot.
Just a little kiss of that. Dare I say, the world's first breakfast waffle, sausage, cheesy egg taco with blue corn tortilla chips and hot honey.
Definitely the first.
That blows my mind.
I
ate it over the. You cannot skip the breakfast sausage. You have to do like the classic spicy breakfast sausage because it's sweet and the vanilla in there is so good and the creaminess of the eggs, cheesiness.
I'm gonna make a classic French omelet with a little cheese, very little. because we don't want to rack up the budget, and a salad, a side salad.
Okay. Okay, that sounds
And
expensive,
I think this is great for brunch, for lunch, and for like late night with a glass of champagne. Simple vinaigrette, Sonny. You're gonna make salt, pepper, shallots, vinegar, and chives, whisk, and leave.
Okay.
Set.
All right.
Secondly, we have eggs. So how many am I serving? 6? 4?
Yeah. 4 is
Four to
family of
6.
4.
Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 eggs. These aren't that expensive. One of the things that's wonderful about eggs is they've actually gone down in price in the last 30 years. It's kind of remarkable, and you have a huge ability to choose the kind of egg you want.
There's actually a chasm of price, right?
Yeah.
You can see a dozen of eggs for $1.39 and another dozen of eggs, same size, for like $4. So pay attention when you're buying your eggs.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, here's my whisk, I use yours. You're just gonna whisk these. Thing about eggs, you'd like them room temperature when you're making an omelet. You can add a little bit of salt, not too much, and some pepper.
I love that you salt the eggs from the get-go.
Yes, you have to.
People talk so much about
You have
this.
to.
You got to get that salt in there early. It doesn't do anything to affect the texture.
Now, there's a lot of ways to make a omelet, but a lot of people add stuff like cream, creme fraiche, water. Nada.
No water?
Nada. Pan, butter, bubbling. You're gonna take the eggs, preferably room temperature, and put them on the pan, medium to low. This is not a egg scrambling demonstration of speed. It's just a slow process. To this, really important, you're gonna add some chopped cold butter. And the reason why we do this, really it's not.
It's
just
expensive.
The reason why I do this, not to be fancy, is helps keep the protein soft so it doesn't get hard. So we have a really soft omelet because it melts generously.
When you get eggs out in a restaurant, they taste so much better than when you make them.
Yes, because it's a soft omelet. So as you see, I'm just using this on medium heat. Scraping it down with a plastic spatula in a good non-stick pan. You want to have a pan that's non-stick, preferably. And some of the pans, they don't last very long, so you just want to get one that lasts, or get a new one for this particular demonstration.
Now, GC, we all give you a hard time for not being the most budget-friendly in your current life, but that's not exactly how you grew up. So I know that you know how to make a dollar stretch.
We grew up, and my mother made leftovers probably 4 times a week.
Yeah.
To the point where sometimes we didn't know what the original dish was, you know, where it came from, but it was just delicious and yummy. Like that pepper dish, like, brought me back. That was just yummy.
I love the way you're really making us see that an omelet begins kind of the way a scramble does.
Yes.
Because you've got to cook the heart of the eggs before you build that.
Yeah, so I'm
crust.
just moderating the heat. You can see the heat is not too high. It's high enough to cook, but I'm really taking care of the omelet to make sure it doesn't get like all on the bottom and stick. So I'm just pushing it off, pushing it toward the center. And now I'm making, I could go either a scrambled egg or an omelet at this point, all right? Now, if I was gonna go scrambled egg, I would take a whisk. How you doing over there, Sonny?
I'm done.
Okay. I would take a whisk and start to whisk these into like small curds, but I'm not gonna do that.
With some scramble.
And if you're gonna do a whisk in a nonstick pan, make sure it's a plastic whisk.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, do you like
Can I taste that?
Do you ever
Yeah, what do
eat
you think? I made it salty like you wanted.
It's gotta be salty.
Do you ever eat like a loaded omelet, Geoffrey? You know, with like 10 toppings in it?
No.
He's not going to the
just
diner.
because, I mean, the egg is
Western.
the beauty of the omelet. You know, when you start putting stuff in an omelet, you lose the omelet.
I agree.
And you don't want to do that. So as you can see, now we're starting to get the foundation of the omelet. And again, it's scrambled eggs at this time, so let's not forget it. But you see how soft it is? That's because of the cold butter that we added into it.
The butter is really like the mediator for the texture. It almost stops the omelet from not becoming fabulous.
So at this point, you know, you want to tell, okay, do I want a soft omelet baveurs? Do I want a medium omelet, which is a little bit more cooked? I like it soft. So at this point, I'm going to shut the heat off. And then I'm going to add the cheese. This is Gruyere cheese. You can use Gruyere cheese. It's not expensive cheese.
It's not.
That's
Anytime cheese is
expensive
sold
cheese.
in that little area where they're all blocks.
Look what I'm using. I'm using probably
Go ahead, Geoffrey, make
an
it
ounce.
rain. I love it.
An ounce and a half.
Beautiful.
And just a touch of pepper.
Probably go
because
cheaper. Just put some Swiss, you know, some Swiss.
I love the taste of pepper. So I'm letting this sit just for a second, and I'm letting the residual heat from the pan sort of come up and like kiss it a bit more, just to finish the cooking.
And if you did want to save money, you could use whatever cheese you got in your drawer in your fridge.
Of course, of course. So while that's just sitting there, I'm going to take my beautiful salad dressing. Sonny, thank you so much. It was,
You're very welcome.
This is a really good dressing, and I tell people all the time it's a simple dressing. We love salad dressing. We always talk about it all the time.
Love.
But I like a salad dressing.
I want it to be so vinegary, too.
That's chive heavy and shallot heavy because it's onions, really, that makes it great. So you can see this. You see how nice that is? Sort of
It's also so French.
Yeah.
French make the best salad dressing,
best.
in my opinion.
That's a very expensive conversation y'all are having over
Okay,
there.
so I'm just gonna give this a general, this is Bib or Boston, but see, I'm just using the lettuce. I'm not cutting it up and I'm not just damaging it. I want it to retain its shape. So when I put it on the plate, it's sort of decorative. Okay, I think we're
Honestly
ready to go.
mesmerized. This is like arranging flowers, this dish.
It is.
Yeah, so we're just gonna take that here. This is for the side, and I think when you bring the salad over to the table, it looks really beautiful.
I'm hungry.
You wanna eat it.
I want to
It's
eat
making me
that.
so hungry. Forget the omelet.
If you get the omelet, okay. Not
Look
gonna
at
do the
it
omelet.
stacked up, all fancy.
Beautiful.
You don't know you're on a budget when you're presenting this
Well, I
fabulously.
mean, you're actually having like 4 or 5 leaves each, so it's not like, can you take that from me?
You also
I'm gonna
Okay.
eat that whole bowl, let's be real.
So you don't have to flip it, you don't have to throw it in the air. It's not a pizza. You just have to take it like this, okay? And just roll it. So the heaviness of the omelet is gonna, it's gonna make
Momentum.
it, it's gonna make itself. You see that?
It's like a snowball rolling
See how
downhill.
nice it is? It's soft.
No brown.
No brown, never.
This is my everything.
Jamais.
Jamais, never.
No brown.
No brown. And then you're just gonna take it like this and
right.
flip it onto the plate.
Oh my God, so beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And one last, we're gonna take a little, what I call shining butter, which is just soft butter.
Oh, bien sûr.
Top of that.
That's at least 25 cents right there.
It is, but so what?
It is
We're-
worth it. Oh, that's
So
gorgeous.
there you are. That's a French
Wow.
omelet with a little salad.
Beautiful. Wow. Slice it up.
Gorgeality.
I love the way the cheese is 79.9% melted, but there's still the texture of that.
See that?
Ooh.
Beautiful.
So, Katie, that's yours, and I'm gonna check the price. All right, you ready?
Yes.
What was yours? $15.39.
$15.39.
Okay, you ready?
Man.
No way with that cheese.
$14.93.
What?
GZ.
Comes in.
Shaving off the pennies.
How did that happen with that cheese and the chives and everything
One less
else?
egg. One less egg. You know?
This is worth every penny, you guys. The Gruyere cheese, it has such a wonderful nuttiness to it, and the melty and
Corn biscuits smothered in sausage pepper gravy. So I have crumbled some spicy breakfast sausage, and it's all cooked down and the fat is rendered. So this is sausage gravy. So to make the gravy, I'll just sprinkle a good amount of flour over the crumbled sausage. And then I'm gonna stir this around and let the flour cook just a little bit so it loses that raw flavor. All right, that flour has had a chance to start cooking. So I'll pour in the milk, and I usually start with probably 2 or 3 cups. You just kind of add it till it feels right. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat down just a little bit, and for this stage of the gravy, you just have to stir and let it slowly thicken over time. So the gravy is just about as perfect as it gets. Look at how thick it is, and you can see those bits of sausage. It is just, it's a work of art is what it is. I know Chuck would agree with me. So I'm gonna really pepper up this gravy. When I first married Lad and kind of started cooking and eating the foods that they like to eat on the ranch, I was blown away by the amount of black pepper they put in things like gravy and mashed potatoes, things like that. I would add what I thought was an enormous amount of black pepper, and then I'd see them load their plates and sprinkle more pepper on top. So I have just added more and more through the years. When it comes to sausage gravy, the pepper adds a little bit of heat, but it really does add a great flavor. You miss it if you don't add enough of it. Now the sausage is plenty salty, so you don't want to over-salt it. I do like to add just a little sprinkle of seasoned salt, little bit of kosher salt. And of course with gravy, you want to taste it and taste it and taste it again until you declare it complete, ready to go. I do feel Chuck is watching me right now. Oh gosh, it's pretty perfect. So I've got the biscuits. Sometimes you can slice the biscuits in half and open them up to serve, but a lot of the guys like to tear the biscuits into pieces and then serve a big old ladleful right on top of the biscuits. And if the gravy gets too thick, you can just splash in more milk and stir it. Better add some more pepper, because I know Chuck would do that. Okay, biscuits and gravy, just like my father-in-law Chuck would serve it to himself. It does not get much better than this.
Merci, monsieur. Cheers, my love.
To Paris.
To Paris.
To us in Paris.
Ah, merci.
Looks great.
So there are two secrets to making really good omelets. The first one is cook it over a very low flame so it doesn't get tough, which they did. And the second one is to undercook it just a little bit so it's really delicious and moist. And I'd say they know how to make a good omelet.
They know how to make an omelet. This omelet approaches your omelets, which is the highest compliment I can pay.
Maybe I'll make something like this at home, maybe with baked eggs instead of omelets.
Oh, that sounds delicious. Right.
So I'm gonna make herb baked eggs for Geoffrey and me. Watch how easy this is, it's great. So I'm gonna mix together 1/4 teaspoon of fresh thyme, right in this bowl. 1/4 teaspoon of fresh rosemary. There's all kinds of French herbs. You wanna use it judiciously because it's such a strong herb. And be sure that you chop it really well. Into the bowl. 1/4 teaspoon of fresh garlic. This has all kinds of Provençal flavors in it. One tablespoon of chopped parsley. You can either use flat leaf or curly parsley. I kind of like a rough chop. It doesn't have to be too finely chopped. One tablespoon of parsley and 1 tablespoon of Parmesan cheese. Just be sure to use good fresh Parmesan cheese. Okay, so these are the gratin dishes that the eggs are gonna go into. And I'm gonna crack 3 eggs into each bowl. You wanna do it really carefully so you don't break the yolks. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of butter, put it in the gratin dish, a little bit of cream, just drop, oops. So I'm gonna put these on a tray, and I made some little pieces of toast I'm gonna serve with the eggs. I'm gonna put these in the broiler for about 3 minutes till the dish gets really hot and the butter is nice and bubbly. And then when the eggs hit, they'll start to cook immediately. So the cream and butter for the eggs, probably done. Perfect. It's nice and hot and bubbly. I'm gonna carefully slide the eggs into each one so I don't break the yolks. And they just start to cook immediately. The dish is really hot. And then I'm gonna put on my mixture of thyme, garlic, rosemary, parsley, and Parmesan. It's all very Provençal. Salt and pepper. Into the broiler for about 5 minutes until it's hot and bubbly and delicious. So, you look very comfortable sitting there.
Oh, that looks
I
great.
have my French-inspired flowers.
What do you got there?
I have baked eggs with Provençal
Isn't
herb.
that lovely?
And then later, the way the French have a salad after the meal, I have an endive salad with blue cheese and pears.
Oh. That is just delicious.
I'm gonna start by whipping up a big batch of the best breakfast potatoes ever. I love these because you just toss them together, throw them in the oven, and they're done before you know it. I started with 5 pounds of red potatoes, and I just chopped them up. They don't need to be perfect. And then I'll throw them into a big bowl. I think I'm feeding, well, I don't know how many I'm feeding. I always plan on a big crowd. That way I always have enough. And then I've got 2 onions, and I just chopped them. I left them pretty big, and I'll throw those in with the potatoes. These are really hearty breakfast potatoes. They bake in the oven, but they get really sizzly and flavorful. I'm actually getting hungry myself. Then I'll mince up about 8 cloves of garlic. Gives them great flavor. Okay, now for extra yumminess, I've got a couple of bell peppers, 2 red and 2 green, but you can use whatever colors you want. Okay, got the peppers all chopped. Now I'll throw those in. I just like them to be in big, rough chunks. You don't have to meticulously dice them for this dish. Okay, now I'll add half a cup of butter, otherwise known as 1 stick, and then the same amount of olive oil. These are gonna fry in the oven, so the butter allows them to get nice color, but the oil lets them fry and get real sizzly. Okay, now I'll add a good amount of salt, a really good amount of black pepper. You know how cowboys feel about this. Good amount of seasoned salt. That adds a little saltiness, but also a few other flavors too. And then for some kick, some cayenne pepper. I add cayenne pepper to about 85% of my recipes. Okay, and then I'll just toss this around, get them all coated. I would have used a spoon, but it would take me a lot longer. I'm not afraid to dig in there, get my hands dirty. Okay, that's all mixed together. Now I've got 2 big baking sheets, and I'm just gonna spread the potatoes on each one. I'm using 2 because I don't want to crowd the potatoes. If I crowd them, they'll just steam and they won't get crispy and fried. Okay, that is a lot of potatoes, but I guarantee you they're gonna be gone. Shake them out, get them into one layer. All right, now I'm gonna start baking these at 425 degrees for about 25-30 minutes. These are gonna be an awesome start to a delicious hearty breakfast. These potatoes look so good. They smell divine. Oh my gosh. Now, instead of taking 2 different baking trays out to the guys, I'm actually just gonna combine them into one. See if I can do this without dropping any. Oh man, they are perfect. They've just got that nice golden color. The peppers and onions are kind of cooked down and have some good color on them. Oh my gosh, these are good. These are great, not just for breakfast. They're awesome for dinner next to a steak.
Ooh, my big, fluffy pancakes and sausage. To get started on my pancakes, I'm gonna whip up 4 egg whites, and beating all this air into them is gonna help them achieve that cloud-like souffle texture. Okay. Now when I can see the tracks of my mixer left behind in the egg whites, that's how I know they're starting to hold those soft peaks. I'm gonna grab a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I'll continue to mix as I add the sugar in gradually. So I'll mix these up to stiff peaks now. I'll set these aside and then mix up my yolk mixture. I've got 1/2 cup of whole milk, and I've allowed it to come to room temperature because I'm about to add some melted butter, and I don't want cold milk firming up melted butter. I'll add a splash of vanilla, and I'll whisk this up. All right, and now for my dry ingredients, one of my favorite shortcuts, I'm just gonna use pancake mix. I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of this. I'll whisk together, and now I'll fold in my egg whites gently. I don't want to deflate all of the air that's trapped in them. So to fold, I'm gonna cut down the center, swing it around the outside of the bowl, and then keep on cutting it down the center and swinging it around the outside of the bowl. That allows the egg whites to incorporate without deflating them. These are inspired by souffle pancakes. They're big and puffy, and they get that height from the egg whites. So it's really important that you do these 2 steps. Okay, I've got my pan here that's heating over low. I'm gonna add a pat of butter, a necessary step to every pancake. I'll get this melted and swirl it around. And now to get their signature cylindrical shape, I've got some ring molds. And I'm gonna fill up the ring molds till they're about 2/3 of the way. I'll cover these now and let them cook on low for 10 minutes. And in that time, I'm gonna make some sausage. I'll start with a pound of ground pork, add some salt, brown sugar, fresh rosemary, sage, and thyme. Then mix it up and divide it into balls, and then flatten into a patty. And I'm gonna go for about a 4-inch diameter because these patties will shrink a little bit as they cook. And when they do shrink, then they'll shrink down to the 3 inches that my pancakes are. That's looking good. I'll plop this down onto my griddle. That's what I wanna hear. I'll keep on shaping my patties and let these cook on medium-high heat for 4 minutes per side. I think it's time to flip my pancakes. Oh yeah, they're looking good. They're mostly set, so I know they're ready to flip. I'm gonna flip them right in their ring molds very carefully because I don't want them to deflate. They have nice golden color. It's what I'm looking for. All right, I'll cover these up and let them go for about another 7 minutes. And while I'm in the flipping mood, I'll flip my sausage. Oh yeah, that's some good brown color. I'll plate these up. Oh yeah, this is looking good. And now the moment of truth for my pancakes. Ha! Look how geometrically pleasing. They're so tall and fluffy and round. I'm gonna pile these right on top of the sausage. I'm gonna do a double stack. I need a pat of butter. And the final touch, a drizzle of syrup. Okay, I got a little bit of pancake, a little bit of the sausage. Here I go.
Welcome back, everybody. Today, it's all about taking your bakery favorites, your bakery classics, and turning them on their head and creating new dishes. Now we're gonna move on to some pancakes that are gonna be inspired by your favorite cinnamon bun. So now I'm gonna start by making the cinnamon sugar swirl. We started with some brown butter, and I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar. And then a couple of teaspoons of cinnamon. Whisk this together. This is what we're gonna actually pipe into our pancakes when we put them in the pan. I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of water. It's gonna get a little thick, a little syrupy. And the cinnamon is cooking, it smells great here. I wanna keep stirring it because I don't want the cinnamon to clump up, or the sugar. And a couple of tablespoons of cream. And you really have to let this cool to use it. Smells good though. Okay, so we have a little bit of warm maple syrup. I'm gonna pour it right over some softened cream cheese. This is gonna create our cream cheese glaze or frosting, basically what you get on top of a cinnamon bun. And this you wanna whisk pretty vigorously so it gets nice and smooth. Okay, let's make some pancakes. Let's start with 1½ cups of all-purpose flour. You know, I always have my recipes written down for batters and doughs, but you don't have to write them down, because all you need to do is go to foodnetwork.com/brunch, and the recipes are right there for you. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 3 tablespoons of sugar, a good pinch of salt. Mix these together, and then we're gonna get to our wet ingredients. A couple of eggs. One and a half cups of buttermilk. You could use regular milk, but I love the flavor of buttermilk, and also I think buttermilk makes for a more tender pancake. A little bit of vanilla extract. 3 tablespoons of melted butter. The melted butter is gonna help make the pancakes a little golden brown on the outside. Now we're just going to fold the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients just until it forms a batter. Don't want to overmix them. Pancakes make me very happy. Such a good thing. Who doesn't like pancakes? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my brown sugar and cinnamon mixture and put it into a pastry bag so that when I put my pancakes into the pan, I can actually swirl it right into the middle of the pancake. So you can see it's kind of thickened up as it's cooled. Lots of delicious goodness in here. Cinnamon, brown butter, brown sugar, a little cream. Okay. Let's start making some pancakes. I'm gonna get some butter going in my pan. So we're gonna put some pancake batter right into the pan. And I'm gonna spread a little bit. Let those cook for a second. I'm gonna take our cinnamon and brown sugar swirl and just swirl it right into the middle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the pancakes cook on one side, get them nice and crusty, and then we'll flip them over really quickly on the swirl side down, just to kind of cook the top of it. But for the most part, you're gonna cook them on one side, say like 80% on one side, flip them over for another 20% of the time, and then we'll be done. I slowed down the heat a little bit so that they actually cook through without getting too brown on the bottom side. At the same time, we don't want it to get too crusty here. Here we go, ready? Count to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're beautiful. It's almost like you kind of slice the pancake in half and you reveal the cinnamon right there. Let's give some of these a taste. Really beautiful. I'm gonna chop some pecans, some toasted pecans. And we're gonna take our maple and cream cheese glaze or sauce. And then a few of the chopped pecans. And let's get at it. You know, it really tastes like one of those glazed cinnamon buns with the cream cheese and the maple glaze on top of the bun itself. We have the cinnamon and the brown sugar running through that swirl. Such a cool idea, and it's really beautiful too, and easy to do.
So I've got a pan with a little bit of butter in it. I'm just gonna put it right in. So this is scrambled eggs, a little bit of cream, half and half actually, salt and pepper. That's simple. And after they're cooked, I'm gonna add goat cheese and chives. It's gonna be really good. How you doing? Aim it away from me.
I'm gonna aim it away from you.
She's dangerous with a Prosecco bottle.
Got it.
Well done. Well done. I'm very thirsty and parched.
I'm making the first one for you.
I figure a little Prosecco will improve the quality of my grilling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh, that looks good.
Okay,
How's
Ina.
that? Ooh, that
One
looks
for you, one
fantastic.
for me.
To Bobby's birthday.
To you, Ina, thanks. How good is that?
That's amazing, isn't
I know.
it? It's kind of bitter, it's sweet.
It's delicious.
Okay, can you stir the scrambled eggs?
Absolutely.
You're the scrambled eggs expert.
This is my specialty.
It is. I'm gonna get the goat cheese ready. So once those are done, I'm just gonna add goat cheese and chopped chives.
And it has to be really slow.
Really slow, really creamy. So I've got 6 ounces of goat cheese, and when the scrambled eggs are just about done, I'm gonna add them in, and some chopped chives. Love fresh chives.
It will be perfect.
It's a great combination, isn't it? I love something fresh in scrambled eggs, like chives or scallions or parsley or some kind of fresh herb is always great. Perfect. Ready for cheese?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna crumble it right in.
Thanks.
Nothing like doing this in the wind.
Oh, this is gonna be so good on
It's so good because it's just, and pull it off the heat a little bit so it
You're
just
right.
melts in.
You're right.
Just messy but good.
Oh. They are going to love this.
I love the tomatoes and the sausages and okay. And how about some chives?
Right
You
on
ready
top.
for that? Okay.
Yep.
Fresh chives. How good does that
How
look?
beautiful is that?
We're good cooks.
Absolutely.
Little self-congratulations, always good. And you're not going to believe this. Just a little pat of butter at the end makes
Oh,
it
how
even better.
Wonderful.
It just melts right into it. I like the idea of a breakfast party. And those are done. Perfect. Oh, it's perfect because the guys are here. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm so glad
I'm
to
in
see
charge
you.
of drinks. Anyone who wants one, come over here.
And the birthday boy. Oh.
Drinks for you.
No, never. So good to see you. Come have a drink.
There was a time if I was hosting a brunch, I would get up that same morning really, really early and cook all the food. Fortunately, I have wised up. I like to do things the day before. That way I can really enjoy myself when the brunch rolls around. I'm making a tater tot casserole for tomorrow. It is so wonderful. It's an all-in-one main course. It's got a great shortcut ingredient, and it's make ahead. Check, check, and check. I'm gonna assemble the casserole today and bake it tomorrow. I'm just browning some breakfast sausage with some finely diced onion. This is a really hearty breakfast casserole. It's kind of old-fashioned. It reminds me of something my mom and her friends used to make for brunch years and years ago. And I love it because everything is all in one casserole. I'm gonna let the sausage cook all the way through. And while it does, I'm gonna grab that shortcut ingredient. Frozen tater tots. So easy. All I need to do is get them into a buttered baking dish. This perfect layer of tater tots is gonna get topped with the brown sausage and onions. And it's fine that this is hot. It's gonna have a chance to cool down before I add the other ingredients. Once the casserole bakes, those tater tots just turn into potatoes. You would never know they were frozen. Okay, that is all the sausage. Now I'll start working on the egg mixture. This casserole has a lot of cheese, so I'm gonna grate up some cheddar and some Monterey Jack. It's probably the cheese combination that I use the most in my kitchen. When it comes to making things the day ahead, whether it's dinner, lunch, or brunch, casseroles are always so handy. So many casseroles can be assembled the day before and baked when you need them, and it just saves so much time, especially if you're having friends over, you want to keep the kitchen clean. Okay, that's enough cheddar. I'll start grating the pepper jack. Love pepper jack cheese, it's so creamy and I love the spice. Okay, that's it for the cheese. Get it out of here. I grated so much, it's stuck. All right, now for the eggs. I've got 4 eggs that I cracked into the pitcher, and I'll add a cup of milk. It's whole milk just to make the whole thing a little more rich. And speaking of rich, a little bit of half and half, just about half a cup or so. Now the sausage is really flavorful and plenty salty, but I'm gonna add just a little bit of seasoned salt, about a 1/4 teaspoon. And for some spice, a little cayenne pepper. Really simple. And then I'll whisk this together. You know, this is kind of a down-home dish. There's nothing fancy or elegant about it. And that's why I kind of like serving it at a ladies' brunch. You don't have to be fancy when you have friends over. As long as it's delicious and you make everything look nice, it's just perfect. Okay, that is nice and mixed. So I'll add some green and red bell pepper. I seeded it and pulled out the membranes, and then I diced them really fine. Okay, the last thing to add to the egg mixture is half of this cheese. The other half is gonna go on top of the casserole. I think I might have over-grated here. There's a lot. Okay, I'll give it a quick stir. And then this beautiful concoction gets poured over the sausage, which is cool by now. And look at all that chunky wonderfulness. Those veggies. I'll just spread it out into a single layer. Make sure it's all even. And then the rest of this cheese goes on top. This is a cheesy, cheesy dish. I think there's more cheese than anything else. I could give up a lot of things in life when it comes to food. Cheese is not one of them. Now I've just got to cover it with foil, stash it in the fridge overnight, and tomorrow when it comes to baking and serving, well, that's going to be a cinch. I'll get the casserole into the oven at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Then I'll take the foil off and bake it for another 20 minutes. Then when it's hot and bubbling, I'll get it out and onto the counter. And everyone will have a lovely, hearty helping. Oh boy, check out all the tater tots and sausagey, oniony, eggy cheesiness. Fantastic.